Hey everyone, Snoo here. Welcome to a sort of special edition video, one that I did not plan to make, and to be completely honest with you guys, I don't even want to be making this video because it's taking time out of my day when I just got home from work, and whether I was a no-life streamer or not, I wouldn't want to be taking time out of my day to make a video on the very first week of League start, because that's a crucial time when the market's most robust and you have the opportunity to get ahead of the curve. But it has come to my attention because I have work, and whereas the first 2 days of my League start I was zeroed in on playing the game, I wasn't looking at any content, I wasn't looking at forums stuff, no time for that. I was having the time of my life, enjoying things, and then day 3, 4, 5 now. We're on day 5 now. These past 3 days I've had to go to work, and I've had to, commute on a train. I've had to have lunch breaks and things like that where I cannot be playing the game. Instead, it provides a uniquely opportune time for me to see what's going on online in the PoE online community. And suffice it to say, as I've done most of the catching up I needed to do, it's not looking pretty. Yeah, there's always some of this. Every League start I've come to figure out. This is now my 5th League playing ever in Path of Exile. I don't think there's ever going to be or been a League where people were just overwhelmingly positive in their feedback, and they're just like, got no problems whatsoever. But this League, it just seems kind of ridiculous to me, and I'm honestly a bit disheartened by some of the responses people have about it. Why there's so many angry people, so many toxic people about in responding and giving feedback on this, and so few people. Here's the big thing about this, is actually the biggest reason I'm making this video. TLDR here for you. There's so few people who are standing up and offering a refuting opinion about it, or saying, no, I think you're wrong. I don't think the game is crazy hard, or that the GGG made some horrible mistake when they released the game. Even in its original iteration, I don't see, maybe a little bit overtuned, but there's this giant conspiracy floating around right now that GGG isn't even testing things. What, are you guys serious? You think GGG doesn't actually test things? They're testing things thoroughly. Would you really think they're not testing things thoroughly? No, they're testing things thoroughly. And the people who tested the game before it came out release were satisfied with it. And no, it's not just because they were plugged in the mirror-tiered characters and stuff. It's because there is a wide array of expectations into what the difficulty of this game should be like. And GGG has been telling people for years that they think this game, through Chris Wilson primarily, that they think this game should be outright brutal. That it should be difficult. And this idea that you're just going to breeze through things on a League start of all things, and that you're going to this idea that you even automatically deserve to see all the content in the game is ludicrous, in my opinion. That's not what a game is meant to be. Not what a game like this is meant to be. And clearly, looking at any of the manifestos or the vision of Chris Wilson or what have you, it's obvious that GGG wants to make this game harder. And it's funny, people laugh it off. They say, oh, I guess GGG just wants to make this game harder. Yes. Yes, that's exactly right. They want to make this game harder. Joke's on you, I guess. So that's kind of where I'm at on this. And I know this may come off a bit strong to some of you guys, but one of the biggest criticisms I have, actually, here, I want to say this. I don't have any problem with somebody who wants the game to be easier, with somebody who more casual, and they voice their feedback, and they say, look, I think the game's too hard for me. I would like to see the game easier. If they're authentic about it, they're nice, cordial about it, and they give reasons for it and everything, that's cool, that's fine. And I have no issue. I take no issue with any one player who is advocating for an easier game. Now, what I do take a little bit of issue with, I guess, or rather, what is the most disheartening thing of all, is seeing some of the big name content creators, really trying to appease to this bully pulpit that is taking place right now. How many content creators have you seen in this past week come out with a video talking about Arch Nemesis modifiers being way too hard, and they say something to the effect of, "Well, I personally love this league. I like a challenge. I'm having a good old time. You know, the game's more challenging for me. I'm going a little bit slower. You know, it's invigorating or whatever." But clearly, GGG overtuned the monster. They didn't test enough. The thing's just way too hard for the average person, and it's not good for the longevity of the game. Why do you guys say that? Why do you guys, that's not even what you believe. I honestly don't believe the person when they say that, because they're speaking out of both sides of their mouth. They're trying to thread a needle that can't be threaded, basically. You know, either you subscribe to the vision of Chris Wilson, so to speak, maybe not 100% entirely, but overall, or you wish the game was something else. It's that simple. You can't say one thing. You can't be like, "Oh, I want the game to be this hard. I enjoy it. I like it, but I also want the game to be easy." That doesn't make any sense to say that, unless you were being disingenuous about what you're saying. So that is the biggest complaint that I have right now. Seeing some of the content creators, big name content creators, people who I respect, otherwise respect very much, people who normally keep it real, I feel. And I don't know, maybe I'm just a nutcase or something, and I'm the only person who feels this way, because I see hardly anyone refuting these claims, but I'm willing to wager that I'm not. I think that the old adage that, you know, people who give feedback typically are complaining. So if you go to a place like a feedback forums, which you see right here, it's usually because they're not happy about something. Why would somebody who is content with a product or a service ever give feedback? Like, what do you get out of that? The whole reason to give feedback is to vent about something you're not happy with, to get it off your chest so you feel better about yourself. There's no reason to give feedback. On the super rare occasion, people will give overwhelmingly positive feedback because they just really want to share their thoughts. They want to share that joy. Only when you're in like a state of pure joy do you actually feel like giving positive feedback. So your experience has to be immensely positive to ever reach a point where you give that kind of feedback. So that's why in the human psyche, the vast majority of feedback is negative overall, unless it's like tremendously convenient to give feedback. Like, how many stars do you give this? And how many stars, whatever. Maybe in that case, you just hit a button or whatever. But no, when it comes to like the Path of Exile forums, you actually have to go out of your way, go on the forums, start typing stuff, writing stuff out. And yeah, I don't think people are going to go through that much trouble when they'd rather be playing the game like me and be, you know, having a grand old time. With taking no issue with the game difficulty or whatever. By the way, my league start wasn't even that bad. I barely noticed any difference at all. This is actually the biggest thing I don't understand. So I league started with Tornado Shot, which is like a taboo skill to league start. You're not supposed to league start with Tornado Shot. You ask anyone. Tornado Shot is an extremely strong, highly scalable skill that sucks without gear. And I league started that skill. Now, I did that because I watched Havoc who's a prominent content creator who does like speed running things. And it was obvious to me that, first of all, it can be done without too much difficulty. Because guess what? The acts in this game are very easy, just generally speaking. And early map is pretty easy overall. So you can basically level with any skill. Despite what I'm seeing here from thread after thread after thread after thread, where if you tried to league start with an off meta, just forget it. Like, there's no way, you're not even going to get past Act 2 if you try to league start with that. Anyway, I can say this affirmatively. I tested league starting with Tornado Shot on the previous patch, like the week before the league started. I ran through the acts multiple times. I did acts 1 through 3 like 10 times. And I became intimately familiar with the difficulty level of that experience. Then Arch Nemesis released, and everybody is like freaking out about how hard these Arch Nemesis are. I didn't notice any difference. I'm not even kidding. Okay, I noticed a small difference in essence monsters, which actually seemed appropriate because essences are some of the most powerful. Wow, my screen came off for a second. Essences are some of the most powerful monsters, or rather rewards, that you can get early in leagues. So they deserve to be overwhelmingly difficult to beat. Like, essences are even better than alchemy orbs, like in Act 1 and 2. So they should be really hard. I only have one major complaint. There was only one situation where it seemed outright ridiculous how difficult a mechanic was, and that was Metamorph. And I heard this one echoed by a lot. That was the one that seemed to get hit the hardest in terms of, like, the conflux of arch nemesis modifiers jammed into a unique league mechanic that just seemed absolutely outrageous. Every other league mechanic was fine. It was maybe a little harder. You know, I really enjoyed it. I liked actually seeing the monsters use abilities to where I could identify and be like, oh, that's what that monster does. Oh, that monster is that. Yeah, I remember what that modifier was last league. Okay, I know how to deal with this. I like seeing that. It's exactly what GGG wanted. They want us to actually pay attention to rares and, you know, to actually contend with the monsters a little bit. It didn't slow me down, not much. It was a breath of fresh air. I actually got to see monsters doing some unique different things. At one point I was running around and suddenly I had no flask charge. I was like, what just happened to all my flasks, dude? Like, that's cool though. I mean, I ran into a drought bringer. Okay. And I was like, oh, okay, that's what happened. There were some monsters, you know, that are invulnerable. Everybody right now is all up in arms about invulnerable monsters. Why? Why can't monsters have at least one affix that makes them worthy of contention to any character, regardless of how powerful they are? Why can't we give monsters at least one affix, for crying out loud? Yeah, so I'm not boasting around here saying, oh, well, look at me, I'm so great at this game. I'm just average at this game. Okay, I do a lot of research. I do practice. Okay, I'm a little above average, but I'm not like some sort of genius level. I can't play hardcore. I would get murdered. I would get absolutely murdered on hardcore. I'm not here playing on solo self-found. I'm playing, you know, LOL mode trade softcore. Okay, and there's nothing special about this, or about me playing at the level I'm playing, and I had no problem with the league start. I could have league started as Toxic Rain. It would have been an absolute joke, just like it always is. And guess what? I'm still speed demoning through maps already, and I have, my budget is like 3x right now with the gear that I have on day 5, and I'm still just, I'm crushing it on T16 cemeteries already. I'm about to actually make a ton of currency because I finally unlocked all my atlas and stuff. Maybe a little slower than some of the faster players, but that's okay. Anyway, I'm not going to go through and read all this stuff. This video's long enough. You can check this out, but I am genuinely curious about kind of the community that's on my side. What do you guys think about this stuff? I'm guessing some of you think that the monsters and stuff were genuinely overtuned and stuff, and I guess I hear to some extent, you know, some of the people saying, well, certain monster combinations absolutely brick builds. Man, you know what? To that, even that, I would say, you know what? If your build is so niche that a single or even a combination of arch nemesis modifiers completely brick it, well then, my response is, you chose to run a niche build. Okay? If you run a niche build for a niche power spike of that build, then you deserve to be put in place, at least occasionally, for choosing to run a build like that. That's why builds that sort of diversify in their damage types or whatever usually do a little bit less damage, or for whatever reason, you know, are not so specialized in some niche way. They deserve to have an easier time overall with dealing with any sort of niche mechanics. So I still don't even buy this argument that people were complaining about, you know, well, this certain combination of modifiers completely bricked. There's nothing I could possibly do. Like, okay, we'll figure it out. Like, it's a game. Like, first of all, you don't even have to attack that monster. You can literally, like, roll another map or something like that. You're probably not going to see that horrible combination again, not anytime soon. Or maybe the next time you do, you'll be so powerful you can just delete it off the screen. I don't know what else to say. I want to get back to gaming. Okay, I don't even want to. Again, I don't even want to make this video. I just wanted to put this out there because I see so few people putting it out there. I'm willing to wager that the vast majority of the community is actually perfectly fine, content with the game, and they're doing what I want to be doing right now. They're playing the game. They're not on the feedback forums whining and complaining about all kinds of stuff that, quite frankly, to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense based on my own personal anecdotal experience, which I admit it's just anecdotal. But hey, you know what? If you want to have a debate about it, that's fine. I like taking underdog positions, especially when the underdog position actually represents my true feelings, which isn't all that often because I usually have a pretty good head on my shoulders and tend to agree with the majority of people on whatever topic it is. For good reason. But this is a case where I don't. I simply don't agree with the majority of the opinions that I'm seeing on the feedback forums especially. Tell me what you guys think. I am genuinely curious, and check out the forum posts for yourself if you dare. I don't recommend it because you know what? Last thing I'll say this video is kind of a humorous point. The biggest reason I'm making this video because I also had something to vent, to get off my chest. So this is kind of my feedback, if you will. Take that for what it is. I will come back with another video soon. I'm going to actually showcase a Soul Thirst build that is enabling me to just, once again, make an absolute mockery of content in Cemetery. And it's going to result in a lot of currency. So currency farming videos are going to be coming out your way, possibly even before I get a headhunter. So, yeah. Anyway, have a good night, have a good day, take care, farm, good luck finding good things. My luck has actually been pretty horrendous overall the first 5 days, but that's okay. I don't mind the grind. I'll see you guys in game.